And we are back live on Powerhouse Sports on this Monday evening. We're joined by Enterprise head football coach Ben Blackmon, alongside Stan Houston and Wayne Johnson. Coach, we appreciate you taking your time to be with us tonight. Y'all like and share, represent your schools, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back live on Powerhouse Sports. Coach Ben Blackmon of the Enterprise Wildcats has joined us here this Monday night. Coach, we appreciate you taking time with us on this busy summer. I know you got a lot prepared for, a lot of things going on, which really appreciate your time with us tonight. Before we get started, if you don't mind, kind of tell us about yourself and your journey to becoming the head coach at Enterprise.
Yeah, year 26 for me in the state of Alabama. Started at Opelika High School with Spence McCracken as an assistant. Got my first head coaching job at Greenville, Alabama. Made my way to the beach at Gulf Shores. Was before Enterprise was at Spanish Fort, and now in Enterprise. So been all over the south part of the state.
Wow. And Coach, I remember watching you when I was in school. I always watched playoff games. I made many trips to the Hill when you were there in Spanish Fort. And I'm going to tell you, I think I was a jinx because I was over every single time I went down there. So I might have been the problem. But
yeah, I wish I'd have known that back then. I wouldn't have let you in the gate.
Well, no, it was always a good time. You're one of the guys, one of the good guys to do it the right way. And Coach, just kind of talk about this is summer so far, man. Y'all competing in 7-on-7. Stan was up there representing us at Hoover. He let us know that y'all are right there on the brink of things. And just kind of talk about the 7-on-7s and the summer so far.
Yeah, man, it's been a really productive summer for us. We've seen a lot of growth. I'll tell you, we've got a really young team. We've got some talent that'll be some really good players as they grow and mature. But, the last 2 years, I think we've lost 65 seniors within our program over the last 2 years. So it's been, and a lot of those guys are playing college football. But we got some young guys that are talented and they're ready to step in, and they've been working their tails off. We've had a great summer. Started by going to Troy 7-on-7. Went there twice. We hosted one here in Enterprise, ended up winning that one, and went to Hoover this past weekend. It was a great competition. We actually did 3 days of it, the regional and the national, and played 14 games. It was a lot of great competition. And, I think we got in the regional, we were in the quarterfinals, and, it ended up in the national tournament. We lost 3 games by 1 point, which, that happens in 7-on-7. It gets close, and you get points for defensive stops, interceptions, and that kind of stuff. So it comes down to the wire a lot. And, but I was really proud of our guys and the way they competed. They've grown a lot over the summer. We've worked them hard, and it's getting close to time to now move into putting on pads on and really becoming a football team.
I was muted. For everybody watching, y'all like and share, represent your schools. If you're an Enterprise fan or a player, y'all check in, let Coach Blackmon know you are watching. If y'all have a question for Coach, we'll try to put on the screen and let him answer it the best he can. And Coach, before I throw it over to Stan or Wayne, obviously, you have a lot of goals in the summertime. You have a lot of things you want to achieve. Where does this team stand as of right now compared to where you wanted to be at this time for this year?
Well, I think we're actually ahead of where I expected to be, losing so many people on defense and offense last year. And I think our kids have really bought in and really learned the system. What they're going to need the most is just game experience. And once we get that game experience, I think they'll grow real fast. Speed of the game, trying to simulate that in practice as best you can, and getting out early and playing some quality opponents. I think seeing the most growth between week 1 and 2.
And Coach, I'm gonna throw it over to Mr. Stan. Mr. Stan, he knows the Enterprise program better than me and Wayne combined. But
Sure.
I'll throw it over to you.
Might know too much. No, I'm just kidding. No, Coach, great to have you on the air. I know it's a busy time. Y'all guys are getting at it. You mentioned the amount of seniors that graduated, and you were right. I mean, there was a lot of those kids still playing ball today. Got the chance to see Walker Turner. Uh,
Yeah.
Kid still looks amazing. I think he's going with the 2s and 3s a little bit now, so that's a credit to y'all's program for getting this kid ready for college ball. With that question, we know about the offensive side a little bit. We've talked about it in the past, but on the defensive side, that's where we really took a hit, and especially at linebacker. Who do you see stepping up to replace the Walker Turners of the defense?
Yeah, well, we lost. Coming back on defense, we have 2 kids in the position they played last year. That being Corday Patterson and who was a freshman that started last year at corner, and then Kyron Lewis at defensive end. And then we've shuffled a couple of guys around that played last year, but we lost our entire linebacker core and our secondary other than Corday. So we got some big shoes to fill. We've had a great all season and spring and summer with Barrett Upton and Mason Moats and Drew Danner coming back from baseball. Expect him to really help out in there in the inside linebacker spot.
So how do you see Kyron Lewis? Noticed that he picked up his first D1 offer. I've noticed it myself. Kyron's grown a lot. Where do you see Kyron fitting into this defensive scheme?
Well, I think he's going to be, an anchor for us on the defensive end, and being able to get after the quarterback, pass rush a little bit. He's definitely, like you said, he's definitely grown up from the time when he was a freshman to now his senior year, and it's time for him, to lead our defense, especially our defensive line.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Coach, first of all, I want to thank you for your time coming on the show tonight. I know it's a busy time of year, taking away from your family time. I want to thank you for that.
No problem.
You just mentioned a name that I hadn't heard from a long time. You said Spence McCracken.
Yeah, the legend.
Okay, I'm an old guy. They probably don't know who he is. I grew up in Prattville, so Spence was at Robert E. Lee. I don't know what they call it now. It's still Robert E. Lee to me on Ann Street, so I don't know what it's called.
Me too. 225 Ann Street.
Right. Well, that's when I grew up going to high school games, and Spence was the man. I mean, heck of a coach, man. Heck of a coach. He's a legend for sure. But you guys always have a tough schedule every year. And that's going to obviously prepare you guys, for down the stretch. What game do you think that you will see out of your guys what you want to see from them? When you get to that point at the end of that game that you've seen the most, that you think you will anyway.
Well, I think, going down our schedule, I think right out the gate, Pike Road has been a really good football team and program there. And seeing how we handle that first game at home with a lot of the youth, and then how well that goes into week 2, and then, probably going on the road to Opelika is a very, very tough place to play on the road. And then also Dothan, going on the road to play at Dothan. I think coming out of that first 5-game stretch, we'll kind of be able to look and see where we're at, and if we've seen the growth that we, think we should have and we have had.
Right. Well, I think you've already answered this, but what areas concern you the most replace on the experience?
Yeah, well, I think number one is got to be our defensive linebackers. We had All-State linebacker Walker Turner,
Yes.
and to replace a kid who was making 20 tackles a game is pretty tough.
It's a lot.
And then, in the secondary, we lost a lot of senior players there as well, and just to replace those kids with sophomores and juniors, and so that's going to be where they've got to grow pretty quick. And the good thing we did was last year, Corday Patterson was the ninth grader. He started at corner for us. And then Caden Cooper is playing free safety for us. He's going to be a sophomore. He's really talented, athletic, long, rangy, plays football, basketball. He's going to be a name in the coming years you'll hear a lot about, but he's just young. I mean, I don't even
Right.
know if he can. I don't even know if he can drive yet. But and we got several kids like that. But I would say defensively, the second and third level of our defense.
Well, what is something that you hope that's better this year that was not as good last year? Team overall.
Well, um, I hope that we just eliminate the self-destructing plays from whether that be penalties, botch snaps, those kind of things. Just really crush drives, and that happened a lot last year
Right.
offensively, and we kind of got behind the sticks, and just eliminating some of those things I think will help us. And then just trying to do a little better job defensively, getting off the field on third down.
Right. Right. And I know having to deal with parents of these players can be tough sometimes. I mean, especially one we're looking at there, right?
Hey, you said it.
Yeah, I did. Well, I'll let Andrew ask you a few more there, Coach. I appreciate you
All
again.
right. Now Stan knows I love him. Hey, me and him's got a good relationship, and so he knows it.
Yes, sir. He's a good guy.
Hey, don't get his head too big. It's already big enough. But Coach, I'm talking about your schedule a little bit because I'm just kind of curious. We've seen the talk back and forth from the AHSA, like people on Twitter as a whole. What are your thoughts on how important it is to schedule these out-of-state games, whether it's teams from Georgia, teams from Florida? How do you think that prepares your guys going into that last half of the stretch of the season?
Well, I think anytime you can play teams that are quality teams, and you don't play them every year, it gives your kids a new look. And going out and playing top tier talent in other states kind of just showcases what Alabama has. I mean, you talk about our schedule and how hard it was. We finished 6-4 and out of the playoffs in Alabama last year, but yet our last game of the year, we beat the number one team in the state of Florida in 4A. So, which 4A student population wise is about the same as 6A in Alabama. So, I mean, it was a really good win. And so just for our kids to go out last year and play really well in that last game, it kind of gave you some confidence going into this year.
I mean, Coach, we kind of just talked about your schedule a little bit, but that's usually there's a stretch of games where coaches say, "Hey, this is going to define our season. This is going to define playoffs or not." Whether it's your first few region games, your last few region games, is there a spot on that schedule that you're kind of toning in on a little bit, saying, "You know what, this stretch right here can define if we make the playoffs, or this stretch right here can define our team"?
Well, I don't think you can put just one game on defining your team. I think that's the thing as coaches we try to do is we try to challenge kids to get better each week, to handle adversity. When things don't go your way, you keep fighting, and that's what we got in our locker room. I know we got a bunch of kids that are gritty, that are going to keep plugging along, just like we always have. I think you talk about a stretch in our schedule. I would probably say those first three region games out the gate with Opelika, Auburn, Dothan are going to be a big back-to-back week for us.
And Coach, the state of high school football has obviously changed from 10 years ago when you were at Spanish Fort, not 10 years ago, but when you were at Spanish Fort last, to now in Enterprise. The game has changed as a whole. I mean, people talk about NIL, people talk about, different things of that nature. Have you had to adjust your coaching philosophy and your style to kind of fit today's time in high school football?
Absolutely. I think if you can't change, then that's when you got to get out, because the game and the times, they change all the time. I can remember as an early young coach back in 2000, we didn't even have 7-on-7s. There was no such things. And then all of a sudden in about 2002, 2002, they started hosting 7-on-7 events at college campuses, and teams were going over there. And then it just grew up and blew up into that. And I just think that we live in such a uh, connected, easily to connect with world, where with the cell phone at your hand, the computer, everything is so connected that, I mean, and the travel organizations, I mean, there's a lot. You better be flexible as a coach, and you better be able to understand kids. And there's different needs, there are different interests, and you as a coach have to do what's best for your program. And what's best at Enterprise is not always what's best at Spanish Fort. And just trying to adjust the different places I've been with the different types of kids I've had to coach, because they're great kids all over the place. It's just their experiences and what you know they've been objected to is different, and you got, as a coach, got to figure that out and figure it out pretty quick. And what's important to the kids, and how you can manage your program through that. But like I said, in 26 years, I've seen, heck, I've seen kids go play travel ball, and heck, they're talking to their buddy who's on the West Coast because he flew to play a game over here in Atlanta and pitch with them. And I mean, it's just crazy. I would have never thought that when I was coming through high school, that, or even starting coaching, that kids would be connected with kids all over the country.
Coach, before I throw it over to Mr. Wayne, I mean, we're trying our best to ask coaches a similar question. We talked to Coach Mark Freeman last week about it. But the trend in high school football obviously has trended, towards more of a recruiting style, more of a NIL. I mean, nobody knows what direction it's going. But as a coach, if you feel comfortable answering it, what trend are you seeing the state of Alabama go for high school football?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I see. Obviously, like I said, it's a very transient world, and I see that there's situations where, um, like I said, you go back to the travel, and kids want to play with other kids. I see a bunch of that. And look, not all transfers are recruiting. Some are. And some of those are legitimate things that should be handled. But I think that um, there's a lot of cases where kids play with other kids, and their parents enjoy being around them, or want to move and play with this kid or that kid. That happens. And so I understand that. I think the problem is that it gets out of hand when the coaches are texting the kids, and telling them to move here, come play with us. I don't think that's supposed to be a part of high school football. I just really don't. Um, are kids going to move? Yeah. Are parents going to try to do what's best for their kids? Sure. I don't have a problem with that. It's the fact that when the staff, the administration, the coaches are actively pursuing kids at other school, and that's where it's not right.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Yes, sir. Kind of on that same line of questioning there. If you don't want to answer this, that's fine too. But uh, we got this task force now, which are coaches that
Mhm.
you coach against now. You've have coached against before, and I mean, what do you have a thought on that, on this task force?
Well, I don't know, the exact who all's on the task force. I've known some names that are supposedly on it. My thought on the whole thing is, as a coach, just do what's right, and you shouldn't have to worry about the task force. Like if a kid comes to your school and wants to move there, um, pick up the phone, call that guy's coach, let them know, hey, so and so came by the school, and I think that handles a lot of the issues. I just remember Spence McCracken, and um, you know Charles Lee at Jeff Davis and Lee
It's always Lee.
in Montgomery. I mean, they were best friends, and they competed in one of the biggest rivalries in the state at that time. But I can just remember, if Spence had a kid come to Lee from JD, he picked the phone up and called Charles Lee, and that was one of the things he taught me. He's like, "Hey, if the kid comes over there and wants to come to your school, that's one thing, but call the coach and let him know he showed up over there." And so I think
Right.
that's a good way to handle things. You know, I, um, I, I don't know. The task force I think, has been brought upon us because of some things that may have been gotten out of hand or not handled properly, and so I think that's what this is about.
Yes, sir. Oh, on the voting of rules and stuff like that, do you feel like that? I can tell you my opinion on it, but yours would be better on it. But I mean, a 1A school to 3A school, I don't think should be voting for Enterprise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all don't have the same problems.
Right. So the AHSA is set up, obviously into districts, and each school has the ability in January to write proposals for rule changes. And some of those rule changes only affect certain schools. Some of them affect the whole state. It depends on what the rule is written for. Some of them only affect certain sports, whether it be a football rule or a wrestling rule or whatever. But every school has the opportunity to write those proposals and be put out to vote, which we all get each school gets one vote. And then that vote by each school is then tabulated, and each district, so there's 8 districts, so like down here in the Wiregrass, that's District 2. There are 4 representatives in each district that get to go and vote on these bylaws. And I've been on the legislative council when I was over in District 1, and the way it works, or the way we tried to make it work, was when all the schools in District 1 voted on a rule change or a proposal, if that rule vote in District 1 was, say, 75% in favor of that rule, then when we went to vote in Montgomery, we voted three yays, one nay. And so I think that's the way it's set up. And I think that's a good way to do it. Everybody has an opportunity to vote. And there are some rules that, holistically for the whole state, may not be good for 1A, but are really good for 7A. And
Right.
somehow you got to find a way to write the proposal and state, what it is. And then once those proposals are voted on, then the central board, once they're voted on by the legislative council, then the central board goes in and ratifies it. And so I do think the process is right. I do. I do. I think it's a good process that we have in place, to get things changed. I've written several proposals in over the years to get things changed. Actually, the 707 rule right now, that we can go to college universities up to 3 in June, because to visit, is a proposal I wrote years ago, when they first came out and said, okay, football couldn't do anything in June, and winter and spring couldn't do anything in July. Well, all the summer camps for the colleges are all in June, and so I wrote a proposal, and to allow us to go to 3 colleges in the state of Alabama or outside in June. to do 7-on-7s, and that's how it kept us in touch with the Auburn, Alabamas, Troy, South coaching staffs, and we can now take our kids to those camps and compete. Because there's a lot of camps out there where coaches evaluate kids, but kids don't have the money or the resources to travel there. But as a coach, we can go to their 7-on-7 and they can get evaluated in those camps. So I know I ran along what your question was, but yes, I do think the process is right.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a good answer, and I agree with your rule you proposed years ago because I mean, I don't know, I've seen kids firsthand that in June, July they're trying to figure out if they need to go to this camp or not. And their mom and dad works long hours, or they don't have the funds to do it. So I 100% agree with that one. I mean, Coach, kind of I'm not going to call it unserious questions, but some questions real quick to kind of transition as we kind of get you off of here in a second, kind of close it up. But your coaching staff. Obviously, I've known like Walker Turner's dad when I was on there helping at Bayside years ago. I knew Walker Turner when he didn't have any pound of muscle on him, and then all of a sudden he bulked up and he became one of the best players in 7A. And I know he's a stud at baseball and football then, and he didn't surprise anybody down the coast about what he can and can't do. I know his dad very well, but talk about your staff a little bit. Obviously, great coaches have a great staff. Talk about some of those guys that you have on your staff.
Yeah, so you talked about Walker's dad. John Turner's my offensive line coach. He's been with me for 7-8 years, was with me at Spanish Fort when I first got there. And then his brother, Brian Turner's our defensive coordinator. He was with me at Spanish Fort my last 4 years over there. Both of those guys are just incredible coaches. They relate well to the kids, are great teachers and motivators, and they do a good job. On the offensive side, Ross Robinson coaches our wide receivers alongside Lucas Richardson, and Noah Lowry does our running backs. Bobby Fleming does our tight ends, and I coach the quarterbacks. So I'm really, really proud of our staff offensively. We all get along real well, and we have similar mindsets of what we want to do offensively. You switch to the defense side of the ball. We just brought in several new coaches. Obviously, last year, Brian Turner is our defense coordinator. We lost Chuck Dunn to Samford University, and we replaced him with Mike Dufresne, who was a former head coach at Northern Michigan, and we just got him in. He was an All-American at Wisconsin Whitewater, so he's coaching our linebackers. Vincent Stonecker does our safeties. He's also our special teams coordinator, and he actually played for me at Gulf Shores. His dad was my longtime defensive coordinator, and Vincent's kind of just grown up around the game. Good young coach, and does a good job with our safeties. Recently hired DJ Hart, former Enterprise player, and he's come in, and DJ is wonderful with our kids, pushes them, coaches them hard, teaches them, loves on them. He's coaching our corners, and Brad Fortney coaches our nickels, and he's probably the best strength coach I've ever been around. And he's won award after award for strength coach of the year. So that's my varsity staff.
And Coach, I got some rapid fire questions for you because
Lord,
tied into this one. And listen, I'm going to let you know, there's a lot of I know Coach Stonecker watching. Me and him got a bit of friendship at TR Miller when he was here. So I know some of these guys are watching. But first one is, who would you say out of your coaching staff, who has the best personality, funnest personality, whatever you want to call it?
I think the kids gravitate to Brian Turner. I do. I think he's phenomenal with the kids. He knows how to get on them, but he also knows how to love them up and kid around with them every now and then. And so I would say Brian Turner.
And which player, which I don't know if this is going to be a good question to ask you or not, I'm going to ask it anyway. Which player probably has the biggest mouth on the field as far as trash talk goes? Like which player to get to say, hey, calm down because if you don't stop, you'll get a penalty on the field?
It's probably a tie between Mac Houston. No, I'm just kidding. I said that Stan. No, the winner 100% is Kyron Lewis.
Oh, Stan over there. His face got red.
Yeah, it's definitely Kyron
Lewis.
And then, Coach, if you could coach one former player at Enterprise that you've coached your time there, who would it be and why?
Well, it's a hard one, but it's an easy one. We've had a lot of good players come through Enterprise with Eric Winters and Zion Grady, Andrew Purcell, Michael Johnson. We have a lot of good ones, but the one I'd love to coach again would be my son, Case Blackmon.
See, I forgot he played for you over there. See, that should have been a no-brainer for me too. And then, Coach, last two here. If you could choose a song to describe this team so far this year, what would it be?
Well, I think we've got a really tight group of kids. They love each other. They like to do things with each other, hang out, and I think that's going to carry us a long way. A song. I would probably say "Lean on Me," something like that. Something like that. We're gonna have a brotherhood to get through, this gauntlet of a schedule. So I would say something like that.
I love it. And Coach, last one. You've coached at a lot of places, whether you're at Spanish Fort, Enterprise, Greenville, whatever place it would be. But what would you say in Alabama high school football? Where is the toughest place to play on the road on a Friday night?
On the road on a Friday night, toughest place to play. Well, I think Phoenix City's pretty tough. I mean, that's a tough spot to go play. Opelika and Auburn are both tough places to go play as well on the road. I would probably give the edge to Phoenix City. It's a tough place to go, but they also have a great football team as well. So.
Yeah, Phoenix City is tough. I think anywhere in 7A. I mean, you have to look and basically flip a coin of Central Phoenix. I mean, I know Hoover Met can get rowdy, especially back in the day. I mean, it was always a tough place to play. And now Wayne and Stan, before I ask the last question, do you have anything else for Coach Blackmon?
I do not. Go ahead,
Coach, I
Stan.
want to give you some kudos. Got a lot of responses from a lot of high school coaches that attended the Enterprise 7-on-7 tournament. What was it, last week before last? A lot of kudos to you guys. They said it was a first-class operated tournament. Really impressed with our new facilities. They couldn't believe they were actually standing in a high school. So,
yeah, it was a great event, and we hope to grow it next year. We had 15 teams come down to Enterprise and participate in the 7-on-7, and it ranged from some 2 or 3 A's all the way up to some 6 A's, some Florida teams, Georgia teams. So it was really good. We hope to grow it. I'd love to have 32 teams in there, in the future. We have the space to host that, and I'd like to, Noah Lowry, my assistant coach, my running back coach, he did a great job running that event. He did all the calling, the legwork, getting teams together and organizing it. And I think he did a good job and needs to be recognized for that.
And Coach, like I said earlier, we appreciate you taking your time with us to be able to come on here and talk about your program and your kids. I know the addition of Stan has really been beneficial to us, and I know we'll have you on again later this season. I know Stan will probably had a couple of games, be able to highlight you guys and cover Enterprise in a new capacity this year as the 2026 football season rolls around. And, Coach, last question for you. Looking at this team heading to this season, I know you said you lost some key pieces last year, a lot of seniors. It's going to be a younger group. But what would you say that you're looking forward to this team to do, regardless of wins and losses? What's one thing that the fans should remember about this 2026 Enterprise football team?
I think they're going to be fun to watch. Offensively, I think we got some really good skill guys. Our offensive line is way ahead of where I thought it would be, after losing 4 or 5 seniors. I'm excited to see Mac go play, really take the reins and go play. He got thrown in the fire last year against Auburn and Central, two of the toughest opponents that we play, and did an outstanding job in those 2 games. And so I think, that's going to be fun to watch them play. And then just to see our young kids on defense grow. I mean, and get better week after week after week, and that's what I'm excited about seeing.
And, Coach, we're excited to see what Enterprise brings to the table this season. Obviously, a new a new age in high school football. Private schools are gone. I know you don't have to deal with it really much in 7A, but I know your time in Spanish Fort, you dealt with them a lot, especially in that mobile area. There's some tough battles between Spanish Fort, St. Paul's. I played McGill and Theodore and all those schools, but it's going to be a different age. I know 6A, 1A through 6A again. So we look forward to seeing what Enterprise football can do this year, Coach. And again, thank you for taking your time with us tonight and joining us.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you, Coach.
enjoyed it.
Good luck.
Absolutely. Yep, really enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
For everybody watching, y'all don't go away, because when we come back, me, Wayne, and Stan are going to talk about our top 10 regular season games that we think are going to be fun to watch this season, along with a few of our favorites and sleepers, 1A through 6A. So y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back here on Powerhouse Sports for the last few minutes. And Stan, before we get into it, I just want to ask you, I know you went to Hoover, you saw the big hustle up 7-on-7, got to see those schools for regionals and nationals. Give us your thoughts and what that experience and what it was like there, that 7-on-7.
I tell you what, I even made a post about it. That was a blessing from God, being able to see that talent live. And there's a lot of good teams there. You had teams from Ohio, Louisiana, got to see Peyton Houston, the LSU commit, and in the championship game, got to go head-to-head with Trent Seaborn from Thompson for the championship game. And watching those two perform, I think I posted a video that Peyton rolled left and basically threw it from the 50, the opposite hash mark, and threw it to the opposite side of the end zone for a touchdown. That was 50 yards in the air. Well, Trent says, well, I can top that killer, and backs up. He chunks it 50 yards for a touchdown. So being able to see one that impressed me the most, and I think you probably need to get that coach on here. No, it's not in Alabama, but I really consider him a part of South Alabama, is Mosley out of Lynn Haven, Panama City. Those kids came and competed. They actually gave Thompson all they wanted. They barely got beat by Thompson. I've seen this is the third time I've watched these guys play in a tournament, and they bring it. They get better and better every year. So those guys and the guys from Niceville, Florida, they're really going to be good. But Thompson's Thompson, dude. They're just Oak Mountain's got a lot of work to do. Spain Park is going to be really good, really competitive, but Thompson is just, those guys are like robots, man. It's not even fair. But yeah, it was hot. We were on the turf. It was probably close to 120 degrees on the turf, and those kids competed the whole time. And it's a 3-day tournament, so a lot of people were there. A lot of press people were there, and there was actually, we learned later, there were some pro scouts that were there. So good exposure for our kids.
Yeah, Stan Houston was one of the scouts there, if y'all didn't know.
That's right, for the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, that Mosley team, it's got a, I don't know why it's taking people this long, but they've gotten a lot of attention, and he's done a whole lot with very little, I think, in my opinion, out from down there.
And they've had some shuffling around down there too. I mean,
Yeah,
you got Arnold, Bay, so they're kind of swapping. But yeah, Coach Whitten has really turned that program around. He's had some time there. Got a new coach in Niceville. Those are going to be your two panhandle teams that are going to dominate, along with Choctaw. And Thompson actually plays them last game of the year. So Chaltahatchee's what set Enterprise up for their semifinal run year before last. They actually scheduled Choctaw for the last game of the year, and that prepared them for the talent that they were going to see in the playoffs. And you see how far Enterprise got. They got to the semifinals, first time since 1997. So
Yeah.
I tell you what, you got to play up, man. That's what's happened in Laverne. We've seen it time and time again, Wayne. They'll blow through the region and go undefeated, but they're not playing up to the level of competition by the time they get to the playoffs, and they lose either first, second round. So
Exactly. You can't be scared to go ahead and get your teeth kicked in week 1, week 3, whatever it is out of region. You got to. And what
yeah,
that does is that sets you up down that schedule. But what that does, that humbles those kids too and lets them know you're not who you think you are. When you're playing them big dogs like that right out of the gate. And we know Coach Gaines wasn't afraid of it.
no. And
No,
I
I'm
think
afraid.
they're gonna get a little taste of medicine real early when they play Maplesville, and
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
that's one of my top 10 games I want to see. And we're a little partial to Maplesville because of our buddy Trey, but they've got
Yeah.
that's a 1A school. Drew, unless you know this, it's a 1A school, but they got 6A talent. They got a running back that's 6'4".
It's unreal.
Yeah,
And I know that's what I was going to mention. I know looking at because we're going to post our top 10 regular season games. We'll start posting them tomorrow on our page. If you are curious to see what games we're looking forward to, Stan's will be posted tomorrow, followed up by Wayne's and then mine, probably not on the same day. But you kind of get to see what we're looking at, and this isn't the games that we might not go to per se, but it is from the top 10 games in the state that people need to be on the lookout for. And if you want to watch high school football, really good game to go to. But kind of, I'm gonna name a few off of Wayne's, Stan's, and mine as well. But just looking at it, I mean, Stan, Andalusia versus Wetumpka, Benjamin Russell versus Vestavia, and me and Wayne have talked about Powerhouse Sports should be in the building for Benjamin Russell versus Vestavia, August 28th at Benjamin Russell. That's going to be a huge game, a tough early game for both teams, especially having to go to Benjamin Russell, roundy place to play. And of course, Stan's a little bit biased as always, but he has Dothan and Enterprise as Jed Kennedy and Ben Blackmon. A lot of good battles, some high scoring battles as well. But new 6A, I mean, that game could come down to maybe making playoffs, maybe not. And then Wayne, Thompson and Hoover, Prattville and Niceville, Saraland and Auburn. And then Moody versus Leeds for various reasons. Don't even say anything, Wayne. Just keep your mouth shut.
Various reasons. I like that.
Huh?
Various reasons. I like that.
Well, later on when people get comfortable, that they can understand how you are. And when you start saying things, they're going to be like, golly. But, until then.
Hey, I haven't said a thing.
But then some of my games I'm looking at St. Paul's and McGill Tulin, Lynette and Reeltown, Central and Clay Chalkville. Down south, this game could have playoff implications and maybe region championship implications when Jackson and T.R. Miller go head-to-head. And then Moody and Leeds as well. And I got Pace facing Fairhope, across state line showdown. But, fellas, 1A through 6A, obviously you ain't got to go 1A through 6. But who are some of the teams, I guess, Wayne, starting with you, who's some of the teams 1A through 6A that people should probably be on notice about, hey, this could be an underdog, this could be one of those teams that are underrated that could make a lot of noise this year?
Jacksonville, for one, having Cross Land on that team puts them already better with the talent they already have. Unbelievable quarterback, has some trials, tribulations through his young career so far, but that's going to make them better right out of the gate. I'm biased to 4A, but I mean, Anniston should be better as well. And then I'm not sure if West Morgan's going to be what West Morgan used to be. And then they're saying Deichler's supposed to be pretty good.
Deichler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wayne,
Yep.
he lives up there in Riverside, Alabama, wherever you want to call it these days, and it's just, Dashler, and he's over there talking like he lives in the lake every day. I mean, he can't tell these people nothing.
Hey, I believe I'm the only one in a work vehicle, not y'all two.
Well, Stan's with the pool and a little Hawaiian shirt. I don't know
Exactly.
Yeah. I go like that. Pineapple.
or something.
Yeah.
No, you made fun of me about my Dothan Enterprise game, but unless your memory fails you, you know how bad Dothan beat Enterprise last year?
Yes, sir.
At home, and literally they almost put 800 yards rushing in that game. So this is a payback game. It's going to be in Dothan. It's not the safest place to ever play. Uh, and and it's always got playoff repercussions too. So win or lose, usually the loser's left out of the playoffs in that game. But as far as surprises, I'll keep it in our region. I would say people need to look out for Carver. Uh, Coach Mario had to put up with a lot of adversity last year, dealt with the
Lots.
death of a player, had some stuff going on, extracurricular stuff with the players that were involved in some stuff that they shouldn't have been involved with. Just kind of did away with the team's morale, and he's got that situation fixed. Love to see him perform. Also, like Wayne mentioned, y'all look out for Jacksonville, man. Crossland is a big kid. He heard a lot of our criticism talking about his speed. Well, guess what? He's gotten faster. And that's one youngin' you don't want to tackle on open field. And plus, he's got a cannon for an arm. I'd like to see what our Mobile teams are going to do too, especially with the St. Michael's and all them not involved anymore, playing the public school guys. I mean, they still play them, some of them, but like to see what's going to happen down there as far as public school and Mobile.
I'm gonna tell you now, if Orange Beach, shakes out, everybody thinks they're gonna shake out. Orange Beach, when they got a lot of talent that decided to transfer in and play for Wade Waldrop, who's a great young coach. And Orange Beach is a team that could be regular. They're in that region with Viger and Williamson. Everybody kind of counted Orange Beach out, but now we're kind of looking at Orange Beach at 7-on-7, and going to their practices, seeing film, and it's like, shoot, this ain't the same Orange Beach as last year. So it's a team to watch out for down there at the beach. And then Saraland, obviously, with Jamison Roberts. Saraland. Jeff Kelly's going to have those boys ready. And we see it kind of year in, year out of, they kind of lost some talent. Saraland might be down. I'm guilty of it. I have coaches come here all the time and tell me I'm crazy, and then they let me know I'm wrong. But Saraland. When they have Jeff Kelly there, you can't really count them out. Saraland, Jamison Roberts there, and they have some guys that are returning some key pieces. So Saraland's going to be one of those, and then Williamson and Viger. Viger, they lose Sammy Dunn at quarterback. He went to Jack State now after he graduated, but he still has talent. And Viger, they always reload somehow, some way. Then Williamson, Coach Antonio Coleman, Williamson's still going to be a force. And the thing is, can Williamson get past the hump and maybe represent the South in the state title games? Last year, they thought they were ever going to do it, but Viger just outcoached them. And they outplayed them. So those are three teams, or how many did I say, four? 4 teams down here that could be a force. And then 3A, you look at Jackson. Back-to-back state champs. People counted Jackson out this offseason about, we know they're not going to be as good. You lose Landon Duckworth. You lose Red Chapman. You lose E.J. Crowell. But then you still have Jade Morris. You have the same O-line as last year. And in 3A football, we all know that if you run the ball very well, you're going to win a lot of games. And that's one thing they can do. But behind the big offensive line they got, plus with Jay at quarterback, they can still sling it a little bit. So that's kind of some teams I think I put on notice. And then going towards like your way, Stan, it's kind of up for grabs. Like you said, Dothan Enterprise, that game right there kind of determines who makes the playoffs. And obviously you got Central Phoenix City, you got Auburn High School, can Chip English right the ship at Hoover and get Hoover back to where they're competing for a chance to go to a state title, or will this be a year to where Hoover kind of is left again figuring out missing these pieces? So a lot of storylines, like I said, the private school things will be interesting to watch. How is that league going to shake out? St. Paul's been a favorite. Me and Ham Barnett, we talked this morning. He told me some players to watch out for down there at St. Paul's. And they're going to be deadly. St. Paul's a lot of talent coming back from last year. He started a lot of freshmen and sophomores for a reason. By the time these kids get to be juniors and seniors, they're going to be good. They're going to be really good. But Stan, I agree with you. Laverne, there is no kind of playing a cupcake schedule, for lack of a better term. You get Maplesville early in the season. Son.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Coach Hubbard, he took a year off. He left T.R. Miller, Hall of Fame coach for a reason. And him being at Maplesville, I just don't know what to tell you. The man's back at Maplesville, a place where he's from, and people want to play for him and knows how to make people run through a brick wall. So all I got to say to Laverne is buck your chin strap up and pray that it goes by fast. I can tell you.
I agree.
Is
Like
that going to be in Laverne, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see Mayor Rutledge just chimed in. He's what do you say, Moody? We back. Moody's got a new coach this year as well, and I think they put together a pretty good staff over there. Coach Tatum with those guys, and I don't think a lot of people realize what's going on over the last few weeks over at Moody over there. But I guess you could say, hi.
Not going to be stop.
I'm just gonna
What
say,
happened, Wayne? I didn't hear anything
no.
about it.
I just I guess I'll just use the term. Look at him, Ruben. He said, "I'm not saying anything. I'll just say that sometimes you get what you ask for. I guess is the best way to put it."
I just feel sorry for all those people that had to run their mouth, and now it's just
Yeah.
Now I'm with Mayor Rutledge over here. I'm just gonna sit. I'm just gonna look around the circles and actually.
Yeah. Sometimes you get what you ask for, so you may not like it. So.
No, this like I said, when Stan had to go away, had to go pee. But no,
Bad connection.
but no, like I said, I appreciate everybody tuning on tonight. Coach Ben Blackmon, I know we're kind of there's not really. I ain't gonna say there's not much to quote unquote talk about. With a lot of 707s going on in summers. You'll start seeing us out and about as the fall approaches very, very soon at some of these schools, trying to get some footage, talk to some of these coaches that we have, see what they're doing, and all that good stuff. I know I'll be kind of down in South Alabama this upcoming week and next week, kind of taking some clips, seeing what's going on, meeting some coaches. We got a media day coming up that we're going to be announcing this week as well, location, time. So if y'all see that, y'all are more than welcome to join. Come and talk to these kids, listen to them, support these athletes. You know what? High school football, these athletes, they just don't go to school and go home, and they're putting in hours, like 7-8 programs, putting in college hours. I mean, go look at Thompson and Mark Freeman. I mean, they're out there until late in the evening, the summertime, they're doing a lot of stuff. So y'all get in there and support these kids. That's what it's all about. And then
Absolutely.
I forgot my train of thought now. So yeah, that's why I'm rambling. But no, like I said, there's more things coming exciting for Powerhouse Sports. Next Monday, we have some more coaches joining the show. Gonna have some more players join us as well. Hopefully, we start kind of doing 2 nights a week, kind of having a coaching show, then kind of breaking down some of these games close at a time. And then I guess it'll be time to announce our games of the week, where Stan's going to go or Wayne's going to go. Wayne said he might go up there to Tennessee or somewhere. I don't know where he's going, honestly. And Stan said he might go down to Key West and watch somebody and drink a pina coladas. Who knows? Who knows?
Absolutely. You never know where we might pop up.
And we do appreciate the corporate credit card too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was first
Absolutely.
class. Thank you, Drew.
Hey, don't say that too loud here, please. All right. Mr. Rutledge, I tell you something. I gave you an ultimatum last week about what it's going to take to get me to Moody again. So you'll have to take it up with Wayne. And
no, Mayor, he's not coming to Moody. I got Moody covered, Mayor, whether you like it or not.
I'll stay in a Holiday Inn, the suite, or if y'all got a Airbnb on the lake or something, I'll take it. I know somebody lives in the lake. He's going to kick out for a week and it'll be all right. All right, so we appreciate everybody coming on tonight, representing your schools. Like I said, y'all like and share Powerhouse Sports. More exciting things to come. I can't say enough appreciation that we have for Stan and Wayne joining Powerhouse this year. 2 highly respected media members in the state of Alabama. 2 guys who have done it the right way for a long time. And there's a lot of kids that highly respect them. I just love hearing the remarks that are being made at 7-on-7s. When they're at practices, just talking about kids in general, how grateful they are to be able to see Wayne and Stan on a different platform. They're still with Trey and Hall Tech. Trey does a fantastic job as well. If y'all don't watch Hall Tech and listen, y'all make sure you get them listen over there as well. I know it's a lot being a part of 2 entities at one time. But we're truly grateful for Wayne and Stan, all they do. And at the end of the day, like we always say, man, it's about the kids. Now, we don't want anything from it. We want to make sure these kids get the praise and exposure. That's what it's all about and what it's always going to be about no matter what. And that's just kind of the bottom line. But Wayne and Stan, got everything else before we close it out.
No, just going to say, reiterate, we appreciate you, Drew, for all you do. There's a lot of things that people don't realize what you do and the money you spend out of your own pocket for everything that goes on. And I just want to say thank you for that. And it's always going to be about the kids when it comes to me. So, and I know you too as well. So just want to say, Coach Blackmon, thanks for coming on and appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to reiterate something that I mentioned a couple of nights ago. Going to that tournament Friday. So this Hoover tournament's an annual thing. So now you have the regional, then you have the nationals. Last year got a little out of hand with the showboating, unsportsmanlike conduct, penalties, unnecessary roughness kind of stuff, and it got a little out of hand. Well, guess what? It cost some players a D1 scholarship. One of them to Georgia. I know for a fact because I was talking to some of the representatives. But shout out to these coaches and these players for the first class job they did this year. And there wasn't any jaw jacking back and forth, no pushing and shoving. They were just out there balling. And, you know, they had the greatest attitude, win or lose. A lot of coaches and players, if you're listening, these college coaches look at how you react to stuff more than they do how you actually performing. And, you know, Mac fumbled the ball, costing the ball game. And we lost by 1 point. Well, I told him I was, you know, proud the way he played the whole tournament, but most importantly, I was proud the way he reacted making a mistake like that. And coaches watch that. So shout out these coaches and players. And y'all were first class at this tournament. And we had it covered this week. I think Wayne was covering a charity golf tournament. And then, you know, we were up in Hoover. We just going to keep doing it. And it was
Absolutely.
fun, dude. Anything for these youngins, dude. That's
Absolutely.
fact.
And Coach, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Coach Chappelle, your first class is always one of the good guys. But tune in Monday as we'll be joined by Prattville head football coach Bobby Carr. We appreciate Wayne and what he did to set that up. It's nice to be able just to kind of put it into Stan or Wayne's hands sometimes because you know, beer don't take off days. You know, slinging beer don't take off days. So that's what it is. You know,
it sure don't, does it, Wayne?
Coach,
No, sir. Hey, it's buying it don't take off day either, brother.
But
Thank God.
Coach Chappelle, make sure you spread the word. We'll have a time. We'll announce that later this week. But again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And everybody that supports high school football, y'all like and share Powerhouse Sports. More exciting things to come. We're actively growing every single day. And like I said, there's always common denominator with us. It's going to be always about the kids, the communities, the coaches, the programs, and then we can do the highlight. And like I said, if you're a coach watching or if you're an athlete and you have some film or you want to be spotlighted, y'all let us know.
Absolutely.
We'll try to spotlight those kids. It's hard to get everybody, but least you can do is try. We can actually see what's going on, and we'll try our best to spotlight those kids that deserve any of that extra exposure. But as always, that is Wayne Johnson. That is Stan Houston. I'm Andrew Etheridge, and we'll see y'all next time here on Powerhouse Sports.